Okay, this is going to be a unique one. I have an individual here whose daughter has been receiving disability benefits based on Crohn's disease. However, the child is getting ready to try to test the workforce. In other words, they're going to avail themselves of the trial work period. How is that going to affect them for purposes of the continuing disability review? Okay. It's kind of tough because this is what I tell people. Everything under Social Security falls under Social Security. So invariably stuff is going to cross over. So now I think the concern here is that, one, the attempt to do work may cause a continuing disability review, or during the course of the disability review, the person is working, that might have an impact on the review. Okay. I need you, before I kind of break this down, and it's going to sound convoluted, but follow me here. Recognize one clear understanding. Disability is not designed for you to receive it all your life. So at some particular point, Social Security hopes and aspires that your condition improves to the point where you're able to re-enter to the workplace. You got two scenarios here. The first scenario is that the person wants to try to do work. That's the essence of the trial work period, so that you can try to do work and it does not negatively impact you for purposes of disability. So guess what? You got a 9-month window within a 5-year period of time. Let's say that in this scenario, the young lady attempts to do work. Goes to work for a month, everything's great. She's making SGA level work, about 1,080, 1,070 per month, and everything's great, and then something happens, her body crashes, and she can't go back. She has to quit. Now, in the course of the time when she's trying to work, she has a CDR pops up. Well, guess what? Whether you believe it or not, the fact that she can demonstrate that she tried to go to work but was unsuccessful in doing it actually can be helpful to her. Now, this is where it may get a little tricky. Let's say that the individual, the daughter in this instance, is working for about 3 or 4 months. Then the review pops in. Will they take in consideration? Possibly, because the reality is that the idea is CDR is to determine if you're still disabled. If they're looking at the fact that you're working consistently with no problems, that may be an indication that your condition has improved and you can't work. See, the problem is that and this is going to sound jacked up, the problem is that most people, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to work, but they don't want that work to count against them for purposes of their disability being cut off. The trial work plan is designed to give you the opportunity to test the workforce without fear of reprisal or without fear that it's going to just kick you out of the system because you try. So the information from you trying can be helpful or it could be hurtful. It just really depends. So here's the thing that you need to be aware of. Don't allow yourself to believe, and this is the other thing which is important with regards to this question. Don't allow yourself to believe that if you don't work, that it's beneficial to you not to try it because you don't want that working attempt to work to hurt your case if you get a review. They're going to still look at your medical evidence, and if the medical evidence supports that you should be well enough to work, then then it didn't matter whether you worked or not. Don't be afraid. The programs are designed to get you back into the workforce. So I say this to say this. Don't stress and be worried so much about the trial work plan and the fact that somebody's trying to do work and that information possibly being used to kick off a review or be used against them in a review. I always tell people, in the grander scheme of things, if Social Security is going to find that you're no longer disabled, they don't need much help. Okay? They're going to get the medical evidence, and if you just so happen to be availing yourself of the trial work period, then so be it. If you're not able to work, you're not able to work. The evidence will speak for itself. So don't be freaking out worrying that if you try the trial work plan, that trial work period plan, that you may inadvertently cause yourself to get kicked off benefits. Because the reality is, even if you don't try the trial work plan, if they look at the medical evidence and they think from the medical evidence that you can still go back to work or you improve, then it wouldn't have mattered whether or not you tested the trial work plan anyway. They were going to find you no longer disabled.